Aloha, good morning. This is Caron Davis of Caron Realty International, and trust everyone's had a wonderful week. And yes, finally, sunshine yesterday. Very interesting. The color blue. We have not seen blue skies for quite some time. So let's keep our fingers crossed and keep that beautiful weather going. Anyway, we're reviewing the market from last month, March, compared to February. So let me put my screen on so we can talk about some of the statistics, etc. here. Okay, so we're going into the single family luxury homes, the statistics, and we saw basically a surge of sales last month, March, up nearly 35% from February, the beginning of the year. However, what we did see is the days on the market were relatively a lot slower, nearly double actually. That was 48 days slower to get those homes sold in March versus February. And maybe that's in a lot of relation to we saw a lot more price reductions. Actually, we saw nearly 32% price reductions. So I have been feeling that a little bit in the market right now, where prices have adjusted, or what I'm definitely seeing is offers coming in below asking and sometimes well below asking, which we never used to see before. And another thing we're seeing is, I put a new home on the market, we'll have 80 people through, and we might only get one or two offers. So it's very tricky right now. And what I'm finding myself personally when I'm working with clients on pricing is I'm spending a lot more hours on researching the market, looking at the history. And, with my 35 years experience, I'm really taking some of those experiences and rethinking pricing strategy, who our buyer is, and just being a lot more detailed. So we get that home sold in a relatively short time at the highest price possible, of course. That's always the seller's goal. And of course, the buyer's goal is to get the best price. But I do feel that buyers will pay a good price for the home, especially market price, if the home is well presented in great condition. Once you start having to do repairs or any construction or defects in the home, you'll see some huge price reductions or adjustments. So it's very, very important that you're a real estate consultant, and we find with our company that we're able to talk what things cost and what options our clients have. It's a lot trickier right now. And sometimes I laugh at what we need to be for our clients as psychologists, a negotiator, mark sales and marketing, and know quite a bit about construction costs. It's really interesting how varied, and that's what I love what I do. It's never-ending learning. Anyway, moving on to another statistic I thought was very interesting last month was, I've always given the ranges for homes, in certain price ranges in the luxury market. And what we did find that's notable to talk about is the 3 million to 5.9 million price range of luxury homes was actually up quite substantially. There was only 3 properties that went pending in escrow in February, and last month there was actually 8. And what I'm finding is that first price range we talk about, 1.8 to 2.9 million, holds pretty steady. That's our most active price range in the luxury market. And then we jump into the 3 to 5.9. But what I'm finding is what used to be maybe 2.4, 2.5 million, and it's a gorgeous home. Those homes are selling now on 3 million, maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher. So I'm seeing certain houses creep up in the price ranges if they're in excellent condition and a very popular location. It's very interesting on that. And if we talk about the highest sale luxury property for March, that was an oceanfront property in Kailua. It was, as you can see from the arrow, great location. It was neighboring fronting Castle Beach, and it's a little under 28,000 square feet of land, and the interior 5,200 square feet. And what I'm finding is, especially with single family homes, most sales in that 10 million plus are definitely oceanfront. We have not had many homes. I'd have to go back many years to see homes sell above 10 million that aren't on the beach. It seems like the beachfront is where they get the big money on Oahu, at least. And this home had, exterior and interior painting done. It was very well presented and very important in getting that home sold. Congratulations to the seller and the buyer on that. Moving into the condominiums, luxury condominiums, actually was a little slower March compared to February. There was only 5 sales versus 7. However, April, we've already got 8 pending in escrow to let you know. So a little down bump in March, but if we look at the month of April now, we've already had 8 closed sales for the luxury market. So we're on a good start for April, which is amazing. And in the 6 to 9.9 million range for luxury condominiums, there is 6 pending. So there'll be quite a few closings come the end of April or early May. It'll be interesting to see some of these definitely higher end luxury condos, what they're selling for. And if we move on to the highest luxury condo sale, you'll see here we have Wahanua, and it was a 3-bedroom condominium, and gorgeous views, as you could imagine there, and over 2,000 square feet of living space. And that's all for $3 million. And my philosophy is if you can get a 3-bedroom in the luxury market at a good price, do it. The single family homes have got so much more expensive that this is a great option for a family that wants quality and a really great building, of course. And this was sold to some local buyers. And of course, some of the features that people go for when they buy a property like this is, the breathtaking views of Diamond Head, the floor to ceiling windows, and the light, and that wonderful natural light that comes into your home and just puts such an incredible feeling into your property, and high ceilings, 11-foot ceilings. So again, congratulations to the buyer and seller. That's a very exciting sale. And we actually have a 3-bedroom on the market right now if you're looking for actually $1 million. And it's a building. It has a couple of details we need to tell you about, but probably within a year's time it should be taken care of. But it's a great opportunity for somebody who wants to spend $1 million versus $3 million. So please give me a call on that. Now, moving forward to Marianne's photos, wonderful photos. And I know we've had so much rain, but some of the beauty and some of the landscaping is just gorgeous out there. And as you can see, the lush mountains and the clouds being set in those clouds. And I know I was up in Hawaii Lower Ridge the other week, and there was a cloud set in. I didn't even feel like I was in Hawaii. It was very airy, and it was very neat at the same time to feel that difference in landscaping and atmosphere. It was just an amazing experience. And then moving on, the waterfalls. I know lots of us have just talked about the beautiful waterfalls that are off the H3 highway, absolutely stunning. And the moody sunsets, definitely some beautiful colors coming up right now in the skies here, absolutely stunning. And of course, the rainbows. And, I think we take it for granted sometimes, the rainbows here in Hawaii. And I forget, not many people get rainbows, but it's gorgeous to see that rainbow out there. Well, everyone have a wonderful weekend. Let's keep our fingers crossed for the weather. And until next week, much mahalo and thanks for checking in.